As you can see, we are going to record this class for 17th to 23rd October newspapers. First news that is very important: a new lease of life for the climate. Life is that is lifestyle for environment. So this idea was muted by our own Prime Minister in COP26 at Glasgow. Okay, so this one is the thing. Then another very important news that you can see here is about the Supreme Court appointment of judges. After a long time in this decade, D.Y. Chandrachud will be the Chief Justice for 732 days, and for highest days his father Y.B. Chandrachud have been the Chief Justice for 7 years, 4 months and 19 days. So remember these points, because sometimes state pieces do used to ask. So then again, which state have highest number of Chief Justice yet? So it's Maharashtra. And also about the collegium, that is an important how collegium, how judges are suggested by the collegium, and how appointment of judges are being done. Okay, so these kind of questions will be asked in the UPSC kind of setup. Then Bihar, one of the NHAI have given approval to one of the projects in Bihar that will connect two parts of the Ganga river from Begusarai district, Lakho railway station, okay, nearby Mithani, to Shambho, that will connect the Munger area from the Begusarai area and will reduce significant amount of time by reducing 70 kilometers of distance. Then Kheda public flogging, High Court issues notice to police, victim and seek action against them. Okay, Chief Justice of the High Court. And Kheda police flogging actions. Okay, then we have few in favor of the views against the offensive ideas of social media. Okay, so there are fully right, ground of security, fully wrong. So these kind of questions were opinion on certain internet services, opinion on social media regulation. No opinion were 39% people, something somewhat wrong. Okay, and then somewhat right, fully right. 9% people think fully right, that they can see their data and everything, whatever they send, whatever chat they have with anyone, they find it very right. That is the kind of understanding we have. Bullshit. Then there was a survey trust of various news media among consumers. So DD News was most trusted. Then was the newspapers. All India Radio News have minuscule, reducing for the private news channel. Online news website have minimum. So that kind of thing. Then there is a storm in the, after 3 years there have been a formation of a storm in the October month in the Bay of Bengal region. So this storm, for the first time the depression have been developed, and now it is about to hit the coast of Bengal. Okay, IMD have notified it and put alert on that heavy rains are. And then an important news from England, as the newly elected Prime Minister Liz Truss have resigned as UK Prime Minister. There were 5 reasons that led to her resignation. First one was the mini budget, the market reaction, crisis in the pension and funds, immigration rates, and U-turn upon U-turn about the taxation policies that have been there. The new Chancellor that was elected, okay, Jeremy Hunt. So this kind of things happening. How will Britain UPM be chosen? So then her successor when the, and now we, as of today, Rishi Sunak have been selected as the new Prime Minister, first Indian origin Prime Minister of United Kingdom. Then a very important about the Webb telescope that have been launched by NASA. So this is the pillar of creation captured by the Webb telescope, and there are numerous amount of stars and formation of the universe taking place around these areas. So these are called as the pillar of universe. It seems like a pillar, so that is the pillar of it. If you can see this image in it like a pillar. So here many kind of formations of stars, universe is taking place in the universe. So it is important. And death of workers in Qatar should be prod, and in securing the public policy better address the concerns of Indian migrant. Most of the migrant workers going from here to work in Qatar, and their death is a cause of concern. An unabated problem like global economic environment remains a challenge, and policy makers must be cautioned about it. And the Yasorian type the subset of paranoid and self-obsessed, proven about night right mosquitoes to target them. So about this, everyone knows that at least one of the person who take everything a little too personally, even a mosquito bite. So that is a type of personality trait. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. That is the mantra for the environment sustainability. We often see that reduce, reuse, and recycle. That is a kind of cycle have been formed, and this kind of image we used to see many places. So that is for the sustainable environment goal that we want to achieve. Recently, the just Antonio Guterres was here in India. Okay, so based on that, Prime Minister made this statement and leads to crash out as PM in 45 days. Rishi Sunak back in the fray. Now he is elected. Indo-Russia trade source record high to imports of the oil and fertilizers drive surge. Okay, then you can see the trade that was around 18,229 million dollars that have been there in the 2022-23 cycle. Government hikes MSP of 6 rabi crops. Rabi crops are those crops that is grown in the season of cold, okay, in the northern part of the country and some of the southern states also. And the MSP is announced before the sowing of the crop. Why before the sowing of the crop? So that the farmers get an idea that how much they will get if they are going to sow this crop. So 110 rupees per quintal jump in the wheat. Okay, so that kind of policy. Then there is Tamil Nadu Assembly passes a resolution against the Hindi imposition that have been very much in news everywhere. Hindi is being muted and that kind of thing is there. Also, the use of Hindi in the medical profession have been suggested by the Home Minister and launch of books and everything. So they are going against it. 7 dead as helicopter fairing in Kedarnath pilgrimage crash. This is another helicopter crash that have been taken place earlier in the part of Arunachal Pradesh. This happened on the October 18. So crashed around 11:36. Now there are two important news: anger and grief in Gambia over the child's death. This is a murder, that kind of things, because cup syrups death have been taking place. Gambia is here somewhere in African countries in the western coast, and it's a poor country. And India have been supplying cough syrups and medicines to these countries, but such kind of things tarnish the image of India. That should be taken care of. Later on, government also banned this company and sealed it for infinite time. And the new BCCI president, that is Roger Bini, have been elected as the new BCCI president for another term. As Saurav Ganguly resigned, different laws and affront to the nation's unity. UCC to which is UCC Universal Civil Code for everyone, as there is mentioned in the Article 44 of the Constitution in the DPSP. Some people may see it as an imposition, but it should be seen from the humanitarian ground that it will enhance the quality of life for women. So UCC is a good idea, but implementation is again the people's hue and cry. Understanding about the about UCC is important. How effective and anti-smoke guns in the city here is what an expert says. So as at some places in Delhi, anti-smoke guns have been towers like a structure that have been made, and the air from one vent air enters and from other vent the air goes out, and it purifies the air. So how effective it is in the big cities like Delhi? So that is the question that have been being solved by the experts. Union Banknet state-run Union Banks of India posted a 21% jump in its net profit at rupees 1848 crores in the second quarter of September 2022 compared to 1520. So there have been an increase in the bank's net profit. Then coal import considerably will be stopped by 2024. That is being said. The Hurun list of 2022 of billionaires, Nikhil Kamath of Jirodha is the youngest philanthropist as per Edelweiss Hurun list of 2022, with a donation of around 100 crores. Export push in the New Delhi, need for exports and everything. Different laws again. UCC denies safe havens to corrupt and terrorist. PM urges to Interpol. Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, Interpol Chief Nasser Al Raisi in New Delhi. Okay, so they are noting for the type of contact that the criminals should not be given a safe haven. Now, important thing is that in science and technology, PET scan, that is positron emission tomography, positron emission tomography for earliest signs of Alzheimer that can be detected using overexpressed monoamine oxidase enzyme. Okay, so a PET kind of technology can early discover Alzheimer, and treatment can be easy. Government norms for single window clearance system for exports, so that the hurdles of the exports can be reduced. Then Chandrayaan 3 to launch in June 2023. ISRO chief as Somanath mentioned about this. Okay, so we'll see it soon. Dengue patient dies in Prayagraj. Kinellis is Mosambhi juice injected instead of plasma probe panel to set up. So this is the medical negligence kind of thing, and action should be taken against such practices. Latest in Punjab, Tehsil CM says governor is waging a proxy war. So governor is trying to appointment of Punjab Agriculture University Vice Chancellor and Punjab Chief Ministers have been there have been many instances where the present governors are interfering with the elected government of the states, which should not be the case, because governor have a different portfolio and he is not the elected member of any assembly. He is only nominated by the central government. If someone is nominated, how can he have a right to interfere with an elected government? So that is the kind of tussle that is going on, and central, because they are nominated by the center, they are asserting their rights, which is not good for the democracy. Then there is a pressure on rupee may rise if US raises its rates further, as per Fitch says, because rupee is already tumbling, and one of the highest dollar is selling at the highest rate in the present time, and government are not taking enough steps. RBI have already increased the repo rates, but let's see how effective that is in the long run. That will be the question. Then rupee weakened to $83. You can see here $83. That is not in the big heading of the news, but a smaller one. Vended Q2 net profit rises, which are not usable. Then China's total trade surplus with India surpasses $1 trillion. We always talk about tackling the Chinese issue and everything, but we are unable to manufacture in India, due to which every time and again there is a rise in the surplus. We are having a deficit, and China is getting a surplus of $1 trillion. If you multiply that with 83, that is 83 trillion Indian rupees are being wasted on the products that Chinese people sell us, and we are not yet actually increasing our manufacturing capacity so that we can produce in our own country. Then there is an idea of investment in the defense industry with good returns. Rajnath Singh is, the defense minister, is proposing that people should invest in the defense sector so that we can manufacture in our country. But you can see that we are purchasing mainly from US and Russia, all the defense equipments, and a smaller country like Israel is selling us the uh, the arms and armaments, rockets. Israel is also selling us, and we are, after all 75 years of efforts and everything, I haven't seen any major development in the defense sector that is being done, except for the few of the factories that government is opening in the recent times. Teach in mother tongue up to class 8. The new language can undo the learning. NCF National Curriculum Framework have been released, and they are mulling for that the curriculum that until the age of 8 the mother language should be used, because it is proven that many a times the learning of the child in the mother tongue language is very effective. So that should be there, but that should not be imposed to the higher education, because most of the countries around the world are using English, and most of the journals and everything is being published in English. Time and again it is realized that those people who are from the Marathi background, or like from Tamil medium or Malayalam medium, they are losing out because of the lack of knowledge of English in the higher research like PhDs and masters and studying abroad. So that kind of opportunities, if you want, you should be promoting your mother tongue up to class 8, and then up to 8 years of the age, and then after, when they have learned the basic of their mother tongue, then you can shift it to the English or whatever medium you want. But English is preferred because everything you have around is the English, the literatures, the journals, the articles that we publish, everything you need a good base of English. Then the Competition Commission of India have fined 1337 crores to Google in a case related to dominance. that misuse of the dominance, because Google is a very big company and they have misused their asset to other companies' disadvantage. Iranian woman graded as hero after competing for South Korea without hijab. This woman was boulder finals in the Asian Championship of IFSC in Seoul. So she didn't wear hijab, as you can see in the picture, and she have been called as brave, because in these days, for not wearing hijab, there is moral policing have been done and one of the women died. That is very unfortunate. In some part of the world we are fighting for wearing hijab, and in some part of the world for not wearing hijab. So it should be the people's own choice, because religion is everyone's personal choice, that what he wants to do, what he want to worship, how. No one is god, and only god knows that what he wants. So we should not become god, but become a good human being and help each other in such dire situations. Joe Biden to release 15 million barrels from the oil reserve. So, oil reserves have been strategic oil reserves on Wednesday as a part of response to the recent announcement of OPEC plus nations, and even more drawdowns are possible this winter to reduce the cost and inflation effect. Tamil Nadu launches mission to save critically endangered vultures in Tamil Nadu also. The white-backed vultures are there, that are being missions are being taken to save those vultures. Also, there is in, I think, Haryana, there is some place Kaithal, I think, there is for the protection of vultures. There some kind of institutes are there to save vultures. Then India to examine the Russia's oil price cap, because the oil price cap is more than that it should be. So it will be examined that how much we should pay to the Russia, because we are already around 18,000 crores we have paid Russia. 18 million dollars we have paid, 18,000. So India's first emerging Web3 ecosystem. Web3 is what? Web3 is a simple term for the World Wide Web. That is WWW we used to say earlier. So that is the Web3 platform that is advancing with the new AI technology and everything. We have to work fast to solve the challenges of space. So challenges of space is the space debris, and also the cheap accessibility in space internet. So that kind of things are there. So we need to. Then Rustam 2 UAV complete trials used by 22. So Rustam 2 is what? It's unmanned air vehicle, that what we see, the drones kind of thing is there. There are wings, and they can fly, they can help the Indian Army and in the far-flung areas for delivering medicines and vaccines and emergency equipment. So that's that kind of. PM starts mission schools of excellence in Gujarat, Gandhinagar. I think these kind of missions could have been started way earlier, but it's better to begin anytime than to be late. So it's a good initiative that have been taken, and I think it should be a successful initiative, as digitalization have been changing. So smart classes for students from the junior classes would enhance their ability to perform in this kind of environment. Allahabad High Court asks for record of suit of Gyan Wapi dispute. So Allahabad High Court is taking steps. And then there is bomb blast outside Myanmar prison, killed 8 and injured 18 persons. World Bank estimates floods in the Pakistan have led to a damage of $40 billion. So that is a huge loss, and that is exposing that how South Asian countries are vulnerable to these kind of issues like floods. U.S. citizen jailed in Saudi Arabia for tweets in Khagoshi. Tweets on Khagoshi. Jamal Khagoshi was he died under the circumstances that is questionable, and everyone is questioning the government of Arabia for that. China lodges formal complaint with Britain over clash at consulate. That keeps happening. Leave, leave Ukraine at the earliest. Indian embassies have been forming because there have been a nuclear threat from Russia. Maybe you never know how Putin is going to react. He sometimes seems to be insane. Center to promote destinations in 15 states as a part of Swadesh Darshan scheme. And so 15 states part of Swadesh Darshan part 2, it will be promoted. Dress code training suggested for the tourist police. Dress code is something that is that is being promoted because dress code gives you some kind of authority. Accused in 5 rape cases get bailed in UP on the condition of marrying victim. So such kind of practices what that degrades the law, because law doesn't say that you can do such thing, and you can pray the law, you can bypass the law. This is bad precedent has been set up by such act. This is a very bad precedent that is being set up. nurture nurture diversity and condemning the hate speech unequally. UN chief is saying that you should condemn the hate speech and kind of thing. That is very important. No one should be hated. Delhi centers through our services to come up in the Supreme Court on November 24. So there are in Delhi what happens as per the list, the states have rights over the land, police and everything, but in Delhi land and police belongs to the central government. So that is causing a kind of problematic situation and often leads to tussle between the central government and the elected state government, or the LG and the state government. Then rupee to new high, $83. The rise in the food prices in UK, inflation 40 years high. Biden to release the last batch of 180 million barrels. And then domestic passengers volume rises to 10.35 million since last year. US repatriates antiquities stolen artifacted from India. Palestine killed in clashes with Israel army in the West Bank. So Palestine and Israel are always fighting. So and the world leaders, UN, everyone actually failed to uh, curb that kind of fighting. And a small country like Palestine and Israel are fighting, and we are not able to solve such problems. It is a collective failure of our present world that is being seen. Kevin Spacey gets clean sheet in the New York sexual assault case. Okay, so lawsuit against Kevin Spacey, actor. He's an actor. So and ex-US president ordered that to testify capital assault probe. Then Bannon get 4 month prison in terms contempt of Congress. Donald Trump's former aide. He have gave. Why is Japan's unification and church is being investigated? And because the killer of the Shinzo Abe murder case, he belonged to, there is a liberal democratic party lawmakers. They are also the part of that cult often referred to as unification of the church. And his death have been, he have been telling in the court that his mother paid many amount to that organization, and they get bankrupt out of them, and he was in the distress that he killed Shinzo Abe. Kharge wins president election of Congress. City residents could be jailed for busting crackers on Diwali in New Delhi. Obviously, the smog and kind of thing. China again blocks two proposal on Pak for terrorist and UNSC. They have always, China always backs Pakistan, or else Pakistan have nothing, but it should be, it's out of grey list also now. So again the change in the government and everything. Endosulfan diabai insists here as government clarifies on that endosulfan is causing problems to many people. So in the Trivananthapuram, one of the social activists diabai have been on the 2 days hunger strike. So finally the government took a note, and they clarified that how the treatment regime and everything will work. So finally some kind of things are happening. Smarter army post to improve the living condition of the troops. So above the height of 10,000 feet, there are multiple problems like freezing, cold, and that kind of things are there. So smarter army post will be saving lives of the soldiers during the kind of avalanches and everything. Supreme Court rejects plea seeking the history of time and again these organizations coming up. Uh, they used to ask government and also the Supreme Court that you please entertain such kind of thing, that this is our uh, temple or such kind of thing. Supreme Court rejected that plea. Supreme Court agrees to hear Bilkis Banu fresh plea, because the in the 2002 convicts have been released based on the ground that they had good kind of behavior in the jail. Do not ignore food insecurity. The activists at time and again saying that the global hunger index, in which India ranked 107, have again been a kind of red flag that is being raised by everyone, that such kind of ranking reduces the credibility of India everywhere. But India is always denying such kind of reports. Then there is a Tejas to be integrated with the BrahMos new generation missile that is being uh, that has been taking place. Okay, army chopper crashes in Arunachal, 4 bodies found. Okay, so Mi-17 chopper that have been uh, crashing. Okay, so and former uh, from the Great Hall, focus on the People's Liberation Army, that is the Chinese Communist Party had People Liberation Army, which work for the welfare of their people. Launch on warning and that kind of things are taking place. Blame for the stubble burning on Punjab rest with the center, because they are, you know, putting blames on each other that AAP is doing nothing, we did this, we did that, but actual problems that are not being solved. Okay, only blaming each other could not solve the people's problem. That should be kept in the mind. Red light on Gadi of campaign of Delhi government. It is a campaign to reduce the pollution. From 28th October, it have launched. Are critically endangered great Indian bustards now migrating to Pakistan, because they have been found in some of the deserts in the Pakistan. That is the great Indian bustard is one of the state bird of Rajasthan, and the deserts in the Pakistan have shown Cholistan desert is there. So this kind of thing is happening. Then Sindh government restores general consent to CBI to investigate cases in Maharashtra, which was removed by the previous government. So that have been restored without the uh, state government approval. The CBI cannot probe in any of the state. Open to different voices, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud will going to be the next Chief Justice of India, and we have many expectations, because many of the sub judice matters that is pending before the Supreme Court from a long time have not been addressed as such. The Chronicle of the Dark Days, the years of Booker Prize winner says he want brave enough to talk to the present. He chose to ghost in the Sri Lankas of the past. So he had been selected for the Booker Prize, Karuna Talika, Sehan Karuna Talika. So that is an important name we must remember. That in the dire situations of Sri Lanka also, the freedom of speech and writing is still intact there. Take immediate action against the hate speech. Two of the justice of Supreme Court, Justice Rikesh Roy and Justice K.M. Joseph, have observed that these kind of practices like hate speech should be curbed. Sources like media, TV, print media should not spread such kind of things. Pakistan out of FATF grey list for terror funding. After a long time, Pakistan have won a major reprieve on Friday. So I think review will be filed, and again their status will be reviewed. Imran Khan barred from election over the corruption charges. So these are the things you can see. Their prime minister is corrupt, and they have been out of that. Central panel to probe the illegal axing of trees in the national park. So NGT have again intervened in the Corbett National Park, that illegal axing of trees have been done. So you can see, when does RBI steps into monitor a bank. So for the, if there have been a significant reduction in the reserve of a bank, that the bank is unable to survive any kind of shock, and there is no, capital that is saved with the bank, that the amount of capital that is required to pay back to the creditors who have given bank some kind of money, or who have deposited money in the bank, and money owed by the bank to them. So when these kind of things occur, and when there is reduction in the capital to risk weighted assets around, only the RBI enters into the picture, take over the administration, and freezes the assets, that you cannot do anymore this kind of activity, and should not spend much. Why is Pakistan of FATF release? There are some of the factors that like anti-money laundering laws, combating the financial terrorism, and many of the other things. Like after an 31st August to September 2, there have been conference, and then after he have been removed because of the terror funding mechanisms that needs to be established as per the G7 and guidelines of the Financial Action Task Force. If you are abiding to them, then you will be out of the list, and if you are not, then you will again put back to the list. So lockdown increases exposure to the indoor air pollution because there have been an increase in the prices of LPG, a reduction in the salaries. Many people have to leave their jobs. There have been layoff, and many people lost their employment. So again, there is a increase in the use of fuel woods, such kind of thing. And again, there is then chronic diseases like sleeping fewer hours may increase the chance of chronic diseases. So please take care of your sleep adequately. Then Japan and Australia ink security agreements with an eye on China. Okay, so Hong Kong, three activists jailed under the new Hong Kong security laws, and then because of the Chinese influence is there in the Hong Kong now. So as per whatever Z want in Hong Kong now, that is the issue. Hong Kong is basically a semi-independent state. Whatever China will say, Hong Kong will be doing. So they haven't annexed Hong Kong because actually in the name of Hong Kong they are selling their products to world. Palestine means are dead by Israeli in Jerusalem. Then Turkey's Erdogan poses for vote and all politics. The path of Mugabe will be paved by the trekker's dream. So Mugabe in the Vijayanagara Hills was first of all discovered by the Assam Rifles in 1961. No one has yet trekked to this place, so trekking path is being made. Have some idea of where Mugabe field is located, and uh, where this mountain range of Mugabe is located, because anytimes a question can be asked by you in the exam that Mugabe is located in Nilgiri range, or Mugabe is located in what kind of place, which area. So be prepared with that. Then assist to palliative care only 1 to 2% to those who need them. Palliative care, uh, like FFC, FIFIC have released this report. Okay, and then NGT stops Corvette Tiger Safari Virtual Panel submits tree felling report, as we have seen earlier. ISRO heaviest rocket with 36 satellites on board lifts off. Heaviest rocket LVM3M2. Okay, so what is its name? LVM3M2. This is the name because state pieces often try, or you there you can get a question in UPSC. What is LVM3M2? They will write this is a rocket, this is a missile. So what is this? This is the heaviest rocket we have ever seen, and that is 36 satellites have been launched successfully by this rocket. Technical failure suspected in chopper crash that claimed five lives in Arunachal Pradesh. Often this happens. Caste atrocities. Dalit family converts to Buddhism. The family was 22 was for B.R. Ambedkar after being attacked by the worshipping Durga. So actually those who are causing such atrocities to these Dalit families are actually tarnishing the image of our Hindu religion, which accept everyone uh, fully, and no caste barrier should be there because God is for everyone. God blesses everyone with life, and we all humans are equal. That should be our thought. It should out that that's all, because humanity is the utmost value, as it is in nar mein narayan. So we should be acting like that, that every people there is Bhagwan Narayan is there. So we should not harm anyone. JNK redraws caste list quota benefits for 15 more classes because there have been removal of Article 370. So now again all the privileges that are provided to any of the citizens in the country will be provided to people in the Jammu and Kashmir reservation and everything. High Court passes notification on PG medical quota because there have been irregularities. The new species of genus Alamania spotted. Alamania genus new species has been spotted after 188 years. So just remember this name Alamania multiflora because multiflora, if somewhere it is asked in the exam, new species after 188 years. To curb the fireworks agency pin hopes on awareness drives of violation and penalties. Okay, smoke guns, breathing life into a dead river, the Sukapaika river of Odisha. Okay, so that is being revived by Xi Jinping said to become third term command China's rival forced out. See Hun Jintao, who was once the president of China before Xi, so he was before Xi, he was the president of China. So he was forced out of the podium. Uh, he was sitting next to Xi, okay, and he was forced out in front of all the medias to show that now Xi is the supreme leader and no one can be against him or no rival he has. So that is a bad practice. That is how communism work, and that is very bad. Information on Rohingya detention centers is secret as per Ministry of Home Affairs. Celebration of Diwali. There have been a story about Bhudev and how Varaha Avatar is there. So this is interesting story. You can read. There lies the rub. The Nilgiris have been a prominent supplier of the eucalyptus oil and used for the aromatic paints and medication such as destroying biodiversity dry up soon. So we should prudently utilize the nature resource and try to replace as much as we can use. And this is just before Diwali. Uh, Virat Kohli gave us another Diwali to celebrate, and we won in a furious and important match with Pakistan. First match. Xi Jinping promotes three Indian border command generals to top PLA post. So see what he is doing. He is again trying to instigate India and doing such things that promoting their generals to highest post. Two pilots died after Russian jet crashes into the building in Siberia. Then Palestinian groups accuse Israel of killing the West Bank people. Thousand protesters deadly tribal clashes in Sudan and Saudi Arabia track 10 billion for supply chain investment. So and then there is how IT works. INVIT is invest in India kind of thing is there that you can invest if you have a kind of investors in INVIT become part of the operating assets such as roads and powers transmission IPO, and they get a part underlying business. Okay. Teachers training key to NCF implementation says experts because there will be a system of credit. So we need to chart out that how we are going to uh, grade students and everything. 36 satellites launched by ISRO heaviest rocket. We have seen that five new varieties to expand India's basmati platter. Five new varieties of basmati have been developed. Ashok Kumar of Indian Agriculture Research Institute is there, so he was. Home Minister cancels FCRA license of NGO headed by Sonia Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi's foundation. That have FCRA means Foreign Contribution and Regulation Act under, so that was cancelled. Dharavi redevelopment project. Dharavi is Mumbai is one of the largest slum, so that will be redeveloped. So that kind of things are happening. Okay. Then CCI 1337 crores fine on the. So you can read this news in detail. ISRO successfully launches LVN3M2 of 5796 kilogram. It is important for state PCS. State PCS asks some such factual question. All these factual questions are important for state PCS. And India Pak T20 match creates new viewership record in 2 crore viewers who tuned in Pakistan World Cup match. Death toll rises tribal clashes in South Sudan. South Sudan often have tribal clashes because of the two tribal groups. Cash-strapped Pakistan requests China to roll over debt. Then there is Delhi's air day before Diwali was least polluted in 7 years. 259 was the quality. Then Vietnam talks productive, says Kissinger. It is in 1972. It is from the archive that 50 years back these things were happening. China and US wars was taking place. And peace conference in London in the year 1922 after the end of World War One. Okay, so peace conference in London was their peace conference is important from the exam point of view. Okay, in that the pristine culture was there, so many politicians joined this peace conference to avoid any kind of Lasune. It took place in Lasune, the Lasune conference. It is very very famous in the world history, so you can see this part. Peace conference, have some reading. So newspaper is actually there to give you an overview and ideas of what are the things that are in the news, and how you can actually go about those news, and you can save your time studying everything. You have to focus on those things which are there in news, like Lasune peace conference is completing 50 years, so there is a chance that it is in the newspaper, so it can be asked in the exam. Invisible disease wreaks havoc on commercial sandalwood cultivation. Commercial sandalwood spike disease is affecting it. So sandalwood spike disease can be asked somewhere that which disease is related to the sandalwood. So spike disease. Okay. So thank you so much. Keep watching, keep learning, and keep sharing. So again, Xi Jinping for the third term and Virat Kohli winning for India. And that's it. Thank you, and keep sharing to people. And you just have to keep a track of news that are going on around. Okay. So keep learning. Keep. Thank you.